John Lane-Smith, President 1991. John, what brought you to National Speakers?
It was after a talk at SWAP, actually. A lady called Diane Minter said I should go along, and there was a new speaker association being formed, and I should go along, and she told me where it was. I turned up there, and there were 12 people in the audience, and I think it cost $15 to get in, and there were 2 American speakers saying how they ran their career. It was absolutely amazing. Best thing since sliced bread. And I knew it was a turning point in my life.
And very shortly after that you became president.
I certainly did. Go straight to the top straight away, I believe. Well, there'd only been 1.5 before or something, or 1 or 2
Yes, that's
before.
right. Only one before, actually, I think.
That's right,
yes.
yes. I think Peter Doig had sort of started the thing off.
And then David Nongton.
That's
yes.
right.
That's right.
Yes, I was so inspired about it, and there weren't, quite frankly, there weren't many of us anyway. There's only 25 members in Sydney at that time, and it's probably one of your questions earlier, but one of the key things was to actually grow membership, and
yes.
we did. The inspiring part about the whole thing was actually growing that from 25 to 100 members back in 1990.
How did you develop your topic?
Well, it only took me about 12 years to do. How I first got into it basically was through a crash that I had, and people thought it was somewhat inspiring that I got out of hospital in 9 days and not the 3 months that they said. And so basically all I was doing at the time was just really speaking about something that was very emotional to me, and people found it emotive and inspiring, so I'm told. And I was amazed to find that people would pay me for it too, which was good. And the background to that was in sales, so I put basically inspiration and motivation with sales. But literally, it's been now just over 5 years ago that I really found my topic and really encapsulated all of the stuff that I was doing before in emotional intelligence, which a client told me, that's what you do. And I've been really searching for it, and since then it's given such a focus and such a brilliant concept that basically I don't do talks anymore. I do emotional intelligence interventions, which sometimes take 2 years. So yeah.
Well, so it really has evolved for you.
Massively,
totally. Yes.
massively.
Yeah. What was the highlight during your presidency?
Interesting. It literally just went by so quickly. I was amazed at mixing with the bods like the Alan Pieces and Ron Tacky and people who had just been doing it and making good money at doing it, and I was inspired with their help that they gave me. I remember that first year I flew over to San Francisco and sat next to Alan Peace all the way to San Francisco, and all he said, and I think it's probably going to be one of your questions, all he said all the way over and all the way back was write a book, write a book, write a book, write a book. And I did, and that made a massive difference to my business as well.
So with such a successful book, the answer about what do you feel about product, I think speaks for itself. What about other product? Yes,
from some of the information that Alan shared with me, he was able to share how much more to get out of a book. We had it, number 1, I had it published by HarperCollins. Number 2, it was a bestseller in Australia. Number 3, it was a bestseller translated into French in Canada, of all places. And I've still got some of the bookmarks that we got free because we did it in a certain way, and I kept the copyright to the hardback, which made some good fun. So Alan, thank you for that.
Yeah. What is the one must, John, that you would recommend for professional speakers for themselves to be even more successful?
We talk about as speakers honouring diversity, and I think we need to honour diversity within our business too. Back 16 years ago, there was something of a hoity-toity thing, I'm a speaker and not a trainer, and they're trainers and we're speakers sort of thing. And I think what now is a massive turnaround, and it's massively turned around my income apart from anything else, is literally diversifying what you do. So when I go and speak to a client, if they don't want to hire me for some reason, if I don't fit, I find them somebody who will. So I run a bureau called Absolutely Anything Enter Training, and we find absolutely anything.
What do you wish you'd known then?
Reassessing, if I look at some of the presentations when it was just raw enthusiasm back then.
You've still got it, by the way.
Well, well, so have you, Yvonne. Jeez, you've got it.
Oh, okay, John. One top tip for speakers.
Here's two. One was from Amanda Gore, who I used to get a lot of backache when I spoke. She said, put your feet a foot apart and have them parallel. And I found that gave me a tremendous basis. Another one was from Dr. Norman Vincent Peale that I had some time with. And he just said, as simple as you'll never hit 100%. So look for the bright eyes, look for the people who are giving you the energy back, and that will give you the energy to carry on. That was a major one for me.
Yeah, I agree. That's so good.
An idea that I got out of Palm Springs convention was over in the States was literally to put your invoice and agreement on one sheet of paper. So when the client actually signs off the agreement, he also signs off the invoice. Because you're not generally talking to the people who actually are the accountants who finally pay the bills. So.
Yeah. Well, lots of top tips there.